I am Dr. Herbert Miller II, Senior Pastor of Metropolitan Baptist Tabernacle here in the city of Flint. I vote.
Welcome to MTC. I am Dr. Marseille Wells-Strozier. Just a heads up on all candidates listed as approved were email invitations to the address provided by the Election Commission. If you do not see your candidate listed here, you might want to reach out to them. That said, our guest today is Mr. Micheal Clack. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So you are running for state representative for what district?
The 70th district. I'm running as a write-in candidate. Yes, ma'am.
As a write-in candidate. Okay, are you ready to get started with your questions?
I am.
All right, let's get started. You've already served on the Flint Board of Education. What lessons did you learn there that would make you a more effective state representative on day one?
Well, I think having to learn Robert's Rules of Order at a very fast rate, because when I was elected to the school board, I was quickly elected to leadership as the president. So I had to learn how to manage a meeting, and Robert's Rules is definitely, the way that you do, the way that you conduct a professional meeting. So I had to have, a crash course. I walked around with a Robert's Rules for Dummies book. I still do in my bag. But just learning how to conduct a meeting and how to learning the privilege motions and when to use them and how to use them, and certain things like that. Also, how to develop relationships with the members of the board that I sat on. That's a school board with 7 different board members. So that means there's 6 different personalities outside of mine that I had to, kind of work with and reason with, especially being the president and having to conduct the meeting. So, just learning how to kind of maneuver around and learning, each person's strengths and weaknesses and learning how to implement that in the conduct of the meeting was a big part, just starting off. And I think as a state representative, being on the school board, especially the Flint School Board, with all the issues, so to speak, that we had, and dealing with certain, different people and different organizations, I think that will help me out a lot down at the state level.
Okay. A lot of candidates make promises, but you've actually served in elected office. Can you give us an example of a project you helped to accomplish that shows you know how to get results?
Yeah, that's easy. I've campaigned on the demolishing Washington School. That was one of the first things that we did when I was on the school board. We did that in October of 23. I stood on the demolition of Washington School, and that's what we did. That was one of the first things that we did, and I'm proud of doing that because there was a lot of crime, a lot of wrongdoing that was going on inside that school once it got set on fire. So making that that eyesore in the community over on the east side in the 4th Ward, making it a park and being able to repurpose that area so the residents can use it for doing whatever they want to do, but just demolishing that school was something that I promised and we promised as a school board that we were going to do, and we did it. That's just one thing. Another thing was to build a new school, which you see that's one of the big projects that's going on right now, and I was involved in the beginning stages of those meetings for that project, and I'm proud to say that there's a lot of I can go on and on. The cube at Brownell and Holmes, the football field and the track at Brownell and Holmes, the basketball courts behind them, the renovations to every school that we have, a lot of different things that I promised that I said that I was going to do, and we actually did. So I'm proud to do that. I'm proud to say that.
Okay. As we talk about Flint schools, what changes do you think need to happen in Lansing to finally give Flint students the education they deserve?
Well, I think that it's imperative to have a state representative that's going to advocate for the school district in which they represent. And I think that the past, over the past decade, that we've had the opposite. I don't think that we've had the former state representative and the current state representative. I don't think that they actually had the best interests of the Flint schools at hand, seeing as the debt that was accumulated and not worked to be forgiven, or the debt worked to be advocated for by the state, to be forgiven by the state. So I think that if we had a state representative that was actually actively working with the school district to get financial resources and resources for programs, things like that, that the school district, the state representative, could be very effective in helping the school district be effective and come back and be, the school district that we once knew.
It was a wonderful district. You've talked a lot about crime. What can a
Mhm.
state representative realistically do to make neighborhoods in Flint and the 70th district safer?
Well, for one, the state representative can advocate for resources and money for programs and resources for the Flint Police Department. Um, I don't really necessarily like to say to lock people up, but to have precautionary measures, so to speak, like programs that we can that we can put together for the youth to prevent them from joining gangs, or to prevent them from committing crimes, and to prevent them, from doing certain things, and actually getting law enforcement back acclimated in the neighborhoods, so they can form relationships and do community policing versus having to arrest people and fill up the jails and things of that nature. But as a state representative, I would definitely be an advocate for creating programs and getting resources back to the community for preventative measures, as well as once a crime is committed, making sure that that person is dealt with accordingly. But we don't want to just lock everybody up. We'd like to keep as many people out, but we'd like to create the crime as a public health hazard, and figure out ways that we can prevent the violent crimes and prevent the gang crimes and prevent things of that nature.
Yes, that's very important. If you're elected state representative for the 70th district, what is your plan to bring more jobs and investments into Flint instead of watching opportunities go to other cities?
Well, the main thing, in my opinion, is to make Flint a more attractive city, to make businesses want to come here. Not only, do we need businesses to come here, but we need young people to come here and bring their families. In order to do that, we need a school district that is attractive. In order to do that, we need to have a higher graduation rate. We need to work on the literacy rate. We need to work on so many different things just in the school aspect. But as far as the state representative goes, I could allocate money and advocate money for the infrastructure, because in order to bring a business here, some type of business here, mainly manufacturing, because we're going to need a lot of jobs here in the city. But making sure that the infrastructure is strong enough to maintain a big time business. We need water pipes fixed. We need the streets fixed. We need our roads and bridges fixed. We need things of that nature. So as a state representative, I would be, definitely be looking to allocate funds for infrastructure so we could become more attractive to business and bring more jobs here in the city of Flint.
Okay, wonderful. So let's change the tone a little bit. It's
Hmm.
been 10 years after the water crisis.
Uh-huh.
Many residents still feel forgotten. What role should a state representative play in making sure Flint finally gets the long term help it deserves?
Well, I have a 100-day plan, and in my first 30 days of that 100-day plan, what I plan to do is to look into the two water contracts that we're under, especially the Gleewood contract, to see how the residents could get some type of relief from that contract. We're stuck in the middle of two contracts and paying a lot of water bills, for our water bills, and finding some type of relief for the residents is definitely imperative for me as a state representative once elected. Um, uh, could you repeat the second part of the question? I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
got
I
you.
surely will. What role should a state representative play in making sure Flint families get the long term help they deserve?
Right. So going along with what I was saying with the Gleewood contract, uh, seeing that we need to come up as a state representative. I would definitely work with the administration and the city council to figure out some type of long-term financial relief that the residents could get towards their water bills. Now, if we did, there's a lot of talk about data centers and, if data centers are coming or what have you, I would be looking to form some type of community benefits agreement with that data center or whatever business, big time business that would be to come here. That would look something like a profit sharing maybe deal that the residents could get some type of relief on their water bill or their utility bills. I'm not sure how that would work. It was just a thought that I was running with and seeing that, if elected, I definitely would be looking to go down that line and get some type of relief, long-term relief for the residents. And that would be one avenue into doing that.
Okay. The word is transparency. That's something that we hear a lot in government. And you've been very vocal about government transparency.
Yes, ma'am.
How would you make sure taxpayer dollars are actually benefiting the people they intended to help?
Wow. Well, more recently, the city of Flint has forfeited to the state the income tax collection. So if elected a state representative, I definitely will have more oversight over the tax collection at the state level. So I would definitely be looking to work with the city council and the administration with the city to make sure that all programs are fully allocated and running correctly and funded correctly. I spent 2 years on the school board. Within those 2 years I was on the school board, we passed 2 budgets, balanced. Our audits were perfect. Well, not perfect. There's never a perfect audit, but there was not any misallocated funds. Every program was funded. Everything was done the way it's supposed to be done, and that's the way I do business. I don't want to go in making promises that I can't keep and doing things that aren't ethically right and morally correct. So definitely making sure that money is spent in the correct way and allocated correctly would be at the forefront of what I plan to do.
Okay. You've been a teacher, a coach, a mentor, a CASA volunteer, school board member, and a community advocate. How have all these experiences prepared you for the legislator?
Each of those volunteer experiences and my work experiences are all centered around people, and each person has their own individual personality. Dealing with people is just what I do, and so working with different groups of people, different ethnicities, different races, different religions, that's just something that I do, and I believe that brings a diverse way of thinking for me, because I'm able to maneuver and speak to and be comfortable and engage with all these different groups of people, and I believe that that's important when you get down to Lansing, because you're going to be dealing with even more people. I have a small group of people, not a small group because I interact with a lot of different people, but my world is small, so to speak, compared to the entire 70th district being 90,000 residents. So that would be 90,000 different personalities and different issues and different potential phone calls that I could get from a constituent that I would have to deal with. So I believe that those different experiences prepared me to deal with different groups of people and able to look at things from different points of view. So like my degree in sociology helps me to look at things from the 30,000 foot view and not things so linearly. So I can kind of see things from a broader point of view. And I think that all those things combined would help me be a great state representative.
Wonderful, wonderful. Politics has become so divided. How would you work with people who don't always agree with you if it means getting something done for the 70th district?
Well, as you know, I was on the school board for 2 years and I was the president, and we had some kind of colorful meetings, I'll say. Once I believe in something and I know that it's right, I stand firm on it. And there were some issues that I stood by myself on, and I'm proud to say that I did that. But being able to work with people that don't agree with me, my angle would be, how can I get this person to work with me, agree with me, and not be in opposition to me in the future? How can we work together to be on the same page? How can we work together, not to so much to be friends, or but just associates, when it's necessary, So I don't necessarily see that as an issue for me. We don't necessarily have to go home and go to a bar and drink a beer, or we don't have to watch the game or the fight together. But as long as whatever we're working on is right for the people and is going to benefit the people, I'm willing to work with anybody, and it's right. If people are doing the right thing. I don't really necessarily care to work with people that are getting over on the residents. That's just not my thing. But if you're doing right and you want to work with the people and help the people, I'm all for it.
Okay. With your numerous background that we just previously mentioned, you spent years working directly with young people. What
Mhm.
opportunities do you think we're missing that can help kids out of trouble and prepare them for a successful career?
Exposing kids to not necessarily, well, let me just say this. Kids need exposure. We never know who the next astronaut's going to be. We never know who the next president is going to be. We never know who the next Ivy League student is going to be. So as long as it's our responsibility to expose our kids to as much as we can, because we never know what's going to take off and who's going to take off with it. So in my opinion, one of the things that is missing is, when I was growing up, we used to have summer camps at each of the elementary schools. And if we could bring back those summer camps, and we could implement STEM, or not STEM, STEAM programs, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and really emphasize the engineering and the arts, I think that we could expose a lot of kids to a lot more things. On top of that, we could, when I was on the school board, we sent 10 kids on an HBCU college tour that never thought about going to an HBCU, never heard of an HBCU. Two of the kids came back with full ride scholarships. So just having exposure to a college, two kids were able to come back with full ride scholarships from Flint. And if we could get 2 out of 10, maybe next year we can send 20 and get 5 out of 20. So I believe that if we expose our children to more, then we have more, they're more likely to be successful in who knows what, if that makes sense.
Okay, it does. All righty. I can't see Paul. Forgive me for that. You often talk about supporting local businesses. What specific things can the state do to help entrepreneurs here in Flint to become successful?
Well, uh, the state could allocate specific grants for um, the city of Flint, minorities, women, different parts, different subcategories, different groups of like that, or um, and also I, excuse me, on top of that, um, internship programs, and offer internship programs, and also apprenticeship programs for small businesses, to partner with the high school students, to show them how to be entrepreneurs. I think that's important, and as a state representative, I would be able to allocate funds for programs like that, to partner with the grant programs to help the small minority businesses in the city of Flint. Um, I think that would be a great way to start a pipeline of small businesses, and keep, start knowledge of just the language, and the different paperwork and things of that nature. So I'd be willing to look into things like that.
Okay. Mr. Clack, our time is winding down. I want to get in two more good questions, okay?
Okay.
When you served as president and vice president of the Flint Board of Education,
Hmm.
what accomplishment are you most proud of, and how does that experience shape the way you will serve in Lansing?
Well, the accomplishment that I'm most proud of, probably, um, it would probably be the cube at Brownell and Holmes. Uh, but on top of that, I was very instrumental in putting and making sure that the youth in the area had a place to play. That's why I was it was instrumental for me to make sure that they had a football field, and basketball courts, and a track, and playgrounds up in that area, that North Side First Ward corridor. I'm very proud of that. I'm also very proud of we implemented a new curriculum. Uh, we're building a new high school. That I wasn't there on the board when it happened, but I was definitely there on the board in the beginning stages in the meetings to get that put in motion. I'm proud of being part of the renaming of the Gloria Coles Library. I'm proud of being instrumental in making sure that our athletic programs were put into an athletic program, the GAO, because we weren't in a program. So our students, our student athletes didn't have recognition from their from their conference. They didn't have that. I'm proud of making sure that our track team got a new tent and our football team got new football jerseys. I'm proud that each one of our schools got renovations in some sort of way and got new furniture, a new HVAC. I'm proud that Potter School got a new theater with sound system, and there's so many things that we did that people don't really know about. But I'm proud of each and every one of them.
Wonderful. I'm going to try to slide in two more questions. If you had 4 years in office, what would success look like for the 70th district?
Wow. Well, first off, we would have success. First would be making sure that we really had relief for the residents for their water settlement. Making sure that the roads and the pipes are 100% fixed. The pipes are 100% fixed, and we have clean water for our kids and grandkids. Making sure that we have that we partner with the Flint community schools and local schools and make sure that they have trades in the schools for programs, so that the kids that don't plan on going to a traditional 4-year school have an option outside of just going and being released into the streets. They have an option of going into a mechanic program or having some type of apprenticeship program. Making sure that the churches that have the food giveaways are funded properly, making sure that all the different organizations that help people have equitable opportunity to funds to make sure that they run correctly and they can serve the community. There's so many different things that I would love, based on making sure that the people are served and the people are well. I could go on and on, but I know we don't have much time, so I'll stop there.
Yes. All right. How about this last one? If someone is still undecided and only remembers one thing about Michael Clack, after tonight, what do you want that one thing to be?
That I care. Government and politics and public service is what I love. I come from, a line, I don't want to say a long line, but my parents are politicians in public service, and they did astronomical things for the city of Flint and for the residents. And I just want to do the same thing. I want to help as many people as possible. I hate when I drive down the street and I see people that are begging and standing on the corner. That hurts me in my heart. I want to help everybody. I want people to know that I'm gonna stand up for everyone, not just the people that voted for me and supported me. Everybody that's in the 70th district will get the support and get and get Michael Clack's attention and my care. I want people to know that I'm not going to miss 600 votes. I'm going to be at work. I'm going to have a phone that's going to be answered. I'm going to have an office that's going to respond. I'm going to have people that work with me that are going to be smarter than me, so I won't have all the answers, so I can have references to people that know what they're talking about. I'm gonna make sure that I bring up the youth. So I won't be a state representative forever. So I want to make sure that I teach up someone and make sure that they know what the state representatives do. And maybe we could have another. I'd be teaching up a state representative or a president or a speaker of the house or anything like that. So there, I just want people to know that I want what's best for everybody, and I want everybody to be great. And if you elect me, that's what I'll work 110% towards.
Thank you so much. Mr. Michael Clack, thank you so much for this interview. He is running as a write-in candidate for the 70th District State Representative. I'd like to thank our watchers tonight. If you get a chance, make sure you subscribe. And while you're at it, support public access television and low power radio stations. For information on how, call us at 810-239-2901. Have a great night.
We've got radio waves, video vibes, a podcast with wild guests, and cartoons that might make your grandma do a double take.
I'm Paul, Next Week 5, media producer, tech whisperer, and full-time overthinker.
If it's strange, bold, thoughtful, or just plain weird, I'm probably making it.
Tap, follow, subscribe, whatever your thumbs feel like doing today. Let's have some fun.
And hey, if you like your content with a little extra sparkle and a lot more spectacle, interesting and even unexpected video.
So click, tap, follow, subscribe, whatever your thumbs feel like doing today. Our YouTube channel, Spectacle TV. Subscribe, binge, laugh, raise an eyebrow. It's all there waiting for you.